Becoming top stars. Becoming upstart.
Welcome to Meet the Agent podcast. We are broadcasting today from Castlereagh Street in the Sydney city. I am so excited to have one of my favorites.
She's the agent. Bring the color.
Oh, well, everyone's my favorite, like a favorite child, but particularly my favorite today is Sabeen Akbani.
Becoming big time.
Welcome.
Thank you, Wendy. Thanks for having me.
Really thrilled to catch up for so many reasons. I just think you're just such a powerhouse of the Eastern Suburbs market, and you just glow and you're so vibrant and enthusiastic. And gosh, when I grow up, I'd like to be like Sabeen. So I'm curious to know, to get us started, what kind of music or music star most fits your vibe, your style?
I think I would say Dua Lipa.
Meet the agent.
Fantastic.
Because she mixes her work with a bit of fun as well. So I think that's what I can relate. And plus she's got a short bob as well.
Yes, she is very glamorous, which you are. So that is a perfect fit. But she's also so kind of with it. She's hip, but she's got this real power about her too, doesn't she?
Yeah.
Which I sense that you must have to have as a real estate agent, right?
You do. I think it's obviously power could, there's a few different meanings of power. So there's I think as a real estate agent, you have to portray yourself or position yourself in a way to the market, to your consumers as well, that you're well respected. And the biggest thing is well trusted as well. Because if the trust is not there, people don't come to you. My business is more, obviously we do a lot of marketing as well, but most of my business is word of mouth and repeat clients as well. And that is because the way I, position myself with my clients and just in the industry. So I think the power, would be just power of trust and just power of doing the right thing by your clients.
Absolutely, because word gets around, particularly a small area like the Eastern Suburbs.
Yeah.
Everyone talks, don't they?
Yeah. And just our industry is a small industry.
In your presence, you have a kind of magnetism which is really fantastic. What Dua Lipa song, for example, would be your favourite?
You've got me now. I couldn't think of any now. I don't know.
Okay, Dance the Night Away, the Barbie track. That's the Barbie.
I think if she had a song on real estate, I would pick that.
All right, I'll see if I can work with her on that.
Yeah.
Every door she opens, it feels like a dream. Another world for you and me. She says, I got this listing and it's calling your name. It's right on the beach, right on the sea. Take a walk, see the view, and you'll feel the same. Take a walk with me, walk with me.
So what brought you to real estate and also to Australia and the Eastern Suburbs?
Great question. So, Wendy, I came to Australia from Dubai in 2006. So I went to Canada as well. I had Canadian residency and then came to Australia. But I ended up choosing Australia for obviously various reasons. The biggest was the weather that everyone chooses Australia for. And a good lifestyle, obviously. And I wanted to have kids and, just to raise kids, Australia is a great country. I came in 2006 and I started my career from Fairfax Media. And, just escalated to domain.com.au. And then I fell into this, building this huge, biggest prop tech platform in the industry called Before You Buy with Reece Rogers. And that was the biggest, that was the highlight of my career, I would say.
And how old were you then?
You don't tell your age.
Oh, sorry, of course. But I'm just thinking you were so young to be doing such a big, ambitious thing.
Yeah, well, I was always that type of a kid as well. When I was a kid, I was just really a bit, towards working and wasn't really into school. I just wanted to make money and do something for myself and be feel productive. And for me, feeling productive was more working rather than going to school. It's like everyone's different, but I was never a school nerd kid. Still got good grades, but, you know, would study for probably like 3 hours before the exam and just get away with it. So circling back to the career side, yes, I fell into Before You Buy with Reese and did that for 7 years, biggest highlight of my career. That's where I built my biggest network in real estate. And when I was leaving that, because I'd built the buyer platform and it's purely for buyers to download building pest and strata reports, I wanted to stick to the buyer side and help those, you know, people who are starting their journey in real estate. It's whether it's their first home or they're downsizing after 10 years of buying. And especially when you do, that once in 10 years, it doesn't come to you as second nature. It's it's not an easy transaction. It's a lot of money. So I noticed that there was a gap between the fact that, you know, every vendor has a selling agent helping them sell their property. But like you have one open home and you've got like 35 buyers there. None of them have a buyer's agent. We did have this concept start a few years ago, but it's rapidly increasing, as you can see as well. So I thought, you know what, I do want to help those buyers who want to take the biggest decision of their lives, one of the biggest decisions. And I started buyer's agency then, and loving every day.
So you were really one of the pioneers of this new surge in buyer's agents in Australia.
Not so much, because this started, I would say, the first, but I couldn't even tell you who was the first buyer's agent. There were a few out there. It's not like, obviously, we were a bit different to United States, where every transaction has to have a buyer's agent. But 10 years ago, I would say 10, 15 years ago, we did have a few fluttering around, but now the concept is rapidly increasing. I started buyer's agency about 3 years ago. But before that, I was doing that as a part-time thing because I had family in Dubai, and a lot of my family and friends that I know wanted to buy investment properties in Australia. So I was helping them part-time anyway. And then because I was related to Before You Buy, I noticed how many times people download reports, and the same family downloading multiple reports because they're obviously missing out so many times on a property, on a transaction. So that led me to move on and help people.
What particularly brought you to the Eastern Suburbs?
So Eastern Suburbs was obviously it's the biggest niche of the market, right? It's we've got Inner West, which is really booming as well with, properties. We've got Lower North Shore, that's pretty popular. A lot of people buy their investments or their retirement homes in the Northern Beaches. But the reason I chose Eastern Suburbs was, first of all, because I live in the Eastern Suburbs myself. And I've got a few investment properties in the East, outside East. But I think Eastern Suburbs is the most, it's the biggest region in demand at the moment for a lot of families and people, and not just because of buying a home, but for the lifestyle as well. It's not just, it's the most popular region. So I thought the demand is quite high there, and that's why I wanted to stick to it.
Right. It's a really good opportunity.
Yeah.
And you really liked the place. And
yes. And I lived there and I knew the market and I know their streets. So it just made sense.
What are your favorite hotspots? Favorite cafe, favorite shops?
I've got a few. I love Tucker Cafe in Paddington. That's a good one. And there's one in Randwick as well. That's a really good one. But I've got my most favorite one is actually Bill's in Double Bay, where you will often find me doing my sometimes meetings or, sometimes coffees or breakfast or whatever. Yeah.
So tell me a little bit more about the lifestyle then. Is it just like they make it look on Lux listings?
Definitely not. It's actually the opposite. Like I
think you're right.
Yeah, we don't. Yeah, yes, we probably look fancy sometimes, but it's hard. Like it's hard work to the point. Obviously, we're not. There's been a few talks going around about recently that we're saving lives. Like we're definitely not saving lives, but we are. We do work hard. Every job, every industry works hard, right? Each to their own. But I feel like Lux Listing shows the best part of it, where you can go out, go to events and enjoy a lunch or a drink and stuff. But 6 days a week, we are literally running around in heels, looking at properties and negotiating.
I
and
don't
all of
see as
that.
many gym bods as well around as they show on that show. But I've spent most of my time there in the Rose Bay area, which I think it's more of a kind of village style place rather than the kind of flashy, fast sort of vibe.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of different pockets and different feels in the eastern suburbs too, aren't there?
Yes, yeah, because you've got your most popular in terms of even tourist or a lot of owner occupiers, a lot of investors. But your Coogee, Bondi, would be really popular for the beaches. But then you've got like really hidden gems. Malabar is a great spot, and great beaches. Little Bay, great beaches, but people don't really talk about that as often. So I think, and Randwick is getting really popular. People who are getting priced out of Coogee, Bondi, Randwick are moving towards Kensington, then Chifley, and then Rosebery, and then, Botany areas, because that's more in their budget. Because obviously the market is going up every day. So if you get priced out from the expensive suburbs, you still want to be in the eastern suburbs, so you move to the other ones.
Right. And you're covering that whole area.
Yes,
so
I
it
do.
is actually quite wide.
Yeah, I do. I do cover the whole eastern suburbs region, yes.
Yeah. So if you had a crystal ball, what would be your forecast of the best area in the eastern suburbs then to invest in now?
Look,
for our
I would
listeners?
say it's just personal preference and just depends. But rental market, we've got a lot of tourists in Coogee and Bondi. As an investment in eastern suburbs, you can't go wrong.
Rick Stein just opened his restaurant there.
Yeah.
So you can tell it's a happening thing.
Yeah, and also it's also when you invest, you're not just looking at the area and rental yield, but you're also looking at the tenancy rate. So you will rent out your property in 30 seconds in the eastern suburbs. So there's no right or wrong. You can never go wrong in the eastern suburbs, whether it's owner-occupier or investor. It is different because, yes, it offers not just homes, but a lifestyle as well. Beautiful beaches, beautiful restaurants, at your minutes walk away. You could, get up and go to the beach for a run in the morning. You don't get that maybe let's say towards the south as often. But obviously Northern Beaches has that too. But Eastern Suburbs is just the most popular for the lifestyle, I would say.
Tell me, what's one of the stories that most comes to mind about a buy you've made in that region, one of your clients?
I think I would just coming to mind now quickly. I was transacting on this property, in Bondi Junction for these buyers, and it was going to auction on a Saturday, and it was actually my birthday day when I was trying to get this deal across. And I called my buyers saying, look, so the property price guide was way off to what my buyer's budget was. And so I called my buyers and I said, look, I think we have a chance on this property. They loved it. They absolutely loved it. They wanted a 3-bedroom, but it was actually a 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom, no car space, but their budget was way off the guide even. So they wanted a lot more than the guide, the owners. So I called my buyers and I said, look, I think we have a chance for this. And pretty sure they were laughing at me. They thought, there's no way we have a chance. They wouldn't even want to download the building and pest report because they thought I was kidding myself. So I said to them, look, I will download the building and pest report. And because I'm so confident that I can get this deal across. And in the end, long story short, we bought that property $500,000 less than the guide.
Wow.
Yeah.
I bet they liked you a lot after that.
They
Very
did,
good.
yeah.
Have they become a repeat client?
Yeah, well, it's a recent purchase, so they're still happy in their home, but I'm sure they will in the future.
Sabeen, you touched on the price guides briefly. I know there's just even in the last week been a lot of big changes.
Yeah.
Are you hearing talk in the eastern suburbs about that? What are the reactions that you're hearing and the feelings?
Yeah, look, from the buyer's point of view, because that's who I represent, they are a bit lost and confused usually about the price guides, which has been the case in our industry for a very long time. But now after this new, talk about the price guide being way off, the buyers, I think they're getting a bit more confident. They're feeling a bit more confident about, okay, moving forward to a property, knowing that it's not going to be way off than their budget. But the confusion is still there because you don't know who's going to adapt to it and who's not going to.
Absolutely. And what type of buyers do you see shaping the market in the eastern suburbs at the moment?
I feel there's a lot of downsizers, and there's a lot of first home buyers that I'm seeing past 6 months. Obviously, it fluctuates. It just depends. There's a lot of upsizers as well. But I've in the past 6 months, I've transacted quite a lot for first home buyers and a lot of downsizers.
Interesting. I would not have thought that. So there you go. You definitely got your pulse on the market. And of those buyers, what do you see is the biggest mistake that a lot of buyers, like you're mentioning first time buyers particularly, that they make or when they first enter the market? What's like one of the common pitfalls?
Look, I think it definitely varies, for different families. But the most common I've noticed is when the buyer gets in the market, they expect too much. They want that perfect home that doesn't exist, right? I always say, as long as you're ticking your boxes 70% of the times, move forward with it. You're in the market. Obviously, the other thing I've noticed is they underestimate the power of due diligence, and they think, just reading a building and pest report is okay. But that's not. You should be doing quite a lot of other checks, which is council checks, what DA, like what. Let's say if you are buying an apartment block, a unit block, and you're buying that specifically for the view that you're getting from that apartment, and 2 years later you've got a building, a high rise next to it, there goes your property value, right? Because you have no views then. So these sort of things you need to make sure that you are aligned with and be on point. With homes, as in houses, I think it's more you need to check for termite damage, because that's a big thing. If there is already termite damage, then it's very hard to fix it. And also, a lot of people don't check subfloors because a lot of inspectors say, we didn't have access to subfloors. So that's a key point there.
Wow, interesting. So, a whole lot more detail than we'd ever imagine, which is how you guys are really earning your fee.
Yeah, I could actually keep going about it, but there's a few other things. But it's just the main thing is you got to understand you can't tick all your boxes, and you also need to understand, even if you are paying, if your budget's $1 million and you're paying $10,000 over to secure that property, you're going to make way more than that in equity if you actually bought that property now versus, another year. Because the prices keep going up. So don't overpay, but also don't save, try to keep every dollar.
Right. So really setting people's expectations must be a huge part of your role.
Yeah.
And then you're on the hunt, which I can imagine would be fun to try to find that dream home.
I always say we are psychologists.
Interesting. Yeah.
We are, because we deal with a lot of emotions, and we deal with a lot of, people decision making as well. You're involved with it. And that is why trust is so important in this space.
It's more important for a buy, isn't it, than a sale, because most people are selling for the monetary value, not anything else. So with a buy, there is so much involved. Is there one that got away that comes to mind, a particular buy that you were chasing and didn't come through? And, what
happens all the time, Wendy. And, I mean, people who say, I sign up every buy I sit in front of, I don't believe in that. Even top agents like Gavin and Alex Phillips, they miss out on listings, but it's just it's your mindset. It's how you react to it. and what energy you give to that, loss versus moving on and following those people who will actually give you their business.
Yeah, I actually watched Gavin at one of the auctions and I was so impressed when I saw at the end of the auction, he went over and consoled the people that didn't get it. It was like, hey, I'm going to help you find something that's right for you, that's better. So don't you worry about that. We've got you. And I just thought that's a smart man.
Yeah.
And you must have that attitude as well that, okay, that wasn't the right fit, wasn't meant to be, however you want to look at it, but it's not the end.
I feel like you can't get every listing. You can't get every buyer. That's not the truth. You can't have that. But the most important thing is to take your energy from, dwelling over what you didn't get versus moving on with what you can achieve.
Yeah. When I was at Harvard, actually, I was in a class about negotiation strategies. And I will always remember he said, one thing I will teach you is never fall in love with one, fall in love with three.
I can't confirm that.
And it was a pretty memorable quote. But his point was, you're going to have more negotiating power if you like two more.
Yeah.
But if you're just in love with one person, one thing, you're kind of controlled, really. And
but that's also chaos, right? No one wants that chaos. But also it comes down to, I think, what he meant, or if you relate that narrative to, home buying, I think it's when you have options, when you have 3 options, shortlisted options in Property Journey, then you know that you're not going to get too stuck into the one and to be overpaying or making an emotional decision towards it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Good point. So, any other stories that come to mind of perhaps some of your worst days? Because you have had quite an amazing journey, and I must think you must miss Dubai at times and think, what the hell am I doing here? Or not. I mean, setting up your own business, there's a lot of struggles. Tell us some of the real life for you.
Well, I feel like the only times I miss Dubai is when I have to pay my taxes in Australia. Which is quite a lot because in Dubai you don't pay taxes. So,
Okay, I'm moving.
Yeah, I know. I've thought about this every day, but I love Australia too much, so I'm not going anywhere. But life here is very different to what it was there. I've been here about now 25 years, so it's a bit of a, 20 years. My calculation is way off. So I've been here 20 years now, and I think it's the way. Sorry, what was your question? I totally forgot. Make sure you heard that, Lachlan.
No, I've forgotten too. Oh no, what's your real life like? So some stories of, say, the struggles and the hard times that you get through, because it does look very glamorous.
Yes,
being in your shoes or in your heels, and I'm sure a lot of people would want to follow in those heels.
Yes.
So, do you want to tell us, a little bit more of what that life looks like? You mentioned it's not how it looks all the time in the Eastern Suburbs.
Yes.
You don't even have a day off as real estate agents,
well,
really?
I try to take time for myself and, spend time with my daughter on Sundays and half on Saturdays when I finish work. So, and yes, 100%, you're right, Wendy, about the fact that, it doesn't look like what it is on social media. Like, people don't post their struggles quite a lot. People just all post their good stuff, right? And now these days you have to also make sure as a business owner that you're constantly creating content as well. So we're film stars versus also business owners and, buyer's agent.
It's a lot of pressure.
Definitely all of the above, puts you in that burnout category quite a lot. Like, it does lead to a lot of burnout and fatigue, mental fatigue. I think the key is to keep your balance, which is exercise and, mindset positive. It is constantly a chasing your tail business, right? Real estate is like that. You have to be okay with rejection. You have to be thick-skinned. Because if you're not, you won't last or you won't survive. Like, you need to know that you will be rejected. And at times you won't even know why you were rejected. So you will question that. And the best thing you can do is ask for feedback on why you didn't get the business. So it is constantly chasing your tail. It leads to burnout. I think for myself, I do try to keep it all positive. I am generally a very positive person. So I think I just balance it out with exercise and, surrounding myself with positive people and just focusing on the, what I can control versus what I can't.
And what do you particularly love doing on Sundays or the Saturday afternoons with your daughter?
So she's a teenager now, so she basically doesn't want to spend time with me mostly. But when we do spend time together...
Not even Dua Lipa for her mom. Come on.
We do have a good relationship, though, as compared to, most teenagers. She's a good kid. So we do have to have our walks in the morning. Sometimes we do Pilates together. On Sunday, she has a new job at the moment, so she's working most Sundays now. But otherwise, we go for lunches or catch up with a few friends, her friends and their mums and all of that. Yeah, so just quality time.
Just thinking of your daughter, what kind of home she would love to live in. I mean, she must see her mom as a buyer's agent and start dreaming, start thinking, what interiors and particular facilities and things are people looking for in homes? I've been reading that, for example, wellness, you mentioned Pilates is a really big thing now. So people are looking for particular features in homes to do with that more. I mean, you're the expert. Please, tell me, what do you see in terms of interior design?
I think, look, interior design, they don't really focus on that, to be honest. The main focus, and if they do, that comes as a next step, like second stage of after you've bought the property, then you can just add your own footprint into it.
Wow.
But the stages I deal with is they mostly want north facing.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone wants a north-facing property. Some people want a pool in it.
Eastern gardens are so lovely, though. But go on. I don't mean to interrupt. Pools are still big. Yeah,
pool is really big. But also the most prominent one is location. Right. Everyone wants a good location, land size. And, these are the key points that come to mind that people actually really focus on.
Okay, so it's really about the good bones and the good location rather than thinking about, the wellness facilities, et cetera. Like you see in the block, a whole lot of talk about that. Yep. But because of this market being so competitive, it's really about, that shell, and then next step is I'll do what I like with it.
Yes. Yeah. Right. Yeah. And I think that is realistic as well, because if you bought a property thinking, like I said earlier, you can't tick all your boxes. So if you thought, I want the second bedroom to be in this corner, you can't really control all of that. You do have to let go a few things. But the most important thing is, yes, if you want the best location, then you also need a good budget for it, because obviously that elevates the price.
Wonderful. I will work on that too. I'll try to be your best client. Well, we've covered so much. I think we will have to wrap up sadly, but I hope we can have you back again to talk more. Before we go though, is there anything else that comes to mind that you really want to say to the world? I know you have a lot of opportunities, but here is one.
I do feel like Dua Lipa at this point when you're like, do you want to say something to the world? I'm like, I don't think the world wants to listen to me.
Oh, I think they do. Absolutely. Well, you are a real role model as well for other agents. And I think you obviously have a great passion. So what is it that you're most passionate about, or what do you feel really keeps you going?
I think I am passionate about exercising. I love it. Even if I'm tired, don't want to get out of bed, I do that, because that's just great for your mental health. And it's not just physical health, mental health. Passionate about that. But obviously what keeps me going is obviously my daughter. She's the reason I do what I do. But I genuinely love helping buyers out there when I see families, the smile on their faces when I've bought the property they really wanted, or for a good price, or, anything we've done as a team, and how happy they are, or when they write me a message saying, Sabeen, we thought this was not possible, so thank you so much. And sometimes I've heard them, they're on the phone, and when I tell them offer has been accepted, and they cry, or, it makes me happy genuinely.
Oh,
So I do,
I love that.
I do love what I do. So I am quite passionate about
The
that.
satisfaction is really there. Yeah, I feel the same after a good podcast episode. Like I love sharing it and person going, oh, I love that. You know?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's easy when you have good talent like yourself. Feel tempted to cross to the dark side, to be selling?
No, I'm definitely staying the buyer side. I get that question a lot from selling agents. They're like, Sabeen, come work with us. And I'm like, no, I'm good. I love working as a buyer's agent. And I think there's so many selling agents out there. I think buyers need us.
Take a look inside and make yourself at home.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for joining us. It's been such a treat.
Place is special, but it's not alone.
Thank you, everyone, for listening in.
She said, I've got another that I think you should see. 'Cause you won't believe it's in the area. Just follow my lead. Take a drive with me.
Join us next week for our
Thank
next
you, Wendy.
episode of Meet the Agent podcast.
She